Chapter 42. New World Order. After navigating the underground highway's inky blackness for 7 hours, Sierra and Eckehard exchanged few words. They each remained engrossed in mastering their own emotions and contemplating the imminent mission. On the few occasions they did converse, the focus remained on the defenses at Eagle's Nest. Thanks to Eckehard's unrestricted access, bypassing those fortifications seemed feasible. He delved into how his father had ingeniously linked Eagle's Nest to Denver Airport, harnessing its advanced radar and tracking mechanisms. He also unveiled the existence of covert underground chambers and storage vaults initially designed to accommodate the president. In the shadows, Sierra asked, "Is there a way to establish contact with those at HQ?" Her inquiry stemmed not only from a desire to forestall the airstrike, but also to gauge Eckehard's resolve to confront his father and to verify the genuineness of the emotions he professed for her. "Not until we reach the control room, approximately a mile from Eagle's Nest," Eckehard responded promptly. "Once there, we can liaise with whomever you wish." Taken back by Eckehard's unreservedness, Sierra probed further. "How can you defy your father so easily?" The question triggered a memory of a talk he had with his father, with a face imbued with solemn wisdom and semblance of cautious reflection, approached Eckehard. His words were slow, each syllable imbued with the weight of history. "Eckehard, my son, you stand on the brink of immense power, and your steps forward will echo through the annals of time." Victor's eyes, laden with concern, bore into Eckehard's. "It is imperative to wield this power with discernment and caution, especially in the intricate dance between men and women." He paused, allowing the gravity of his words to sink into Eckehard's consciousness. "History, my son, is fraught with tales of empires crumbled and heroes fallen, not by the sword or the arrow, but by the unseen, intangible allure of the feminine." Victor's words painted the air with images of great men entwined in the webs of feminine mystique. Women, with their inherent grace and beguiling charm, have been architects of the destinies of men, acting as both the creators and destroyers of realms. Victor spoke with a voice resonating with the echoes of bygone sagas. "Cleopatra led mighty Antony away from his duties. Helen's beauty sparked the Trojan War, and Delilah severed the source of Samson's strength." His words wound through the intricate threads of human narratives, highlighting the delicate interplay between desire and destiny. "It is not about subjugating one's emotions or forsaking the companionship of the fair sex," Victor clarified, his tone a blend of wisdom and warning. "It is about awareness, about understanding the profound influence and the subtle manipulations that can emanate from the union of the sexes." He locked his gaze with Eckehard's, the air around them heavy with unspoken lessons. "Be wary, be vigilant. Recognize the intricate interweaving of affections and ambitions. For the game of power is intricate, and the dance of desire and dominion is fraught with unseen perils and unspoken rules." His father's words lingered in his mind now more than ever, a whispering reminder of the timeless dance between power and passion, between control and surrender. Now he wondered where within the story he stood. "Here we are," Eckehard said, choosing to disregard Sierra's question. Eckehard directed the vehicle into a secluded parking space, located adjacent to an imposing door. "Remain here. My appearance with the companion would arouse suspicion, and would likely be reported. Once I activate the system, you'll gain communication capabilities, and so will those within the system," he assured Sierra before disembarking from the vehicle. A maelstrom of thoughts engulfed Sierra as she sat in the solitude of the vehicle, questioning the wisdom behind her decision to accompany Eckehard. A myriad of potential scenarios cascaded through her mind, but each path seemed to converge to the same conclusion. This was the sole avenue to ensure the world wouldn't plunge into chaos. Her mind, a battleground of contemplations and mission objectives, remained fixed on the door before the limo. Eventually, it creaked open, revealing the figure of Eckehard. A tumult of emotion stirred within Sierra at his sight, causing her heart to quiver unsteadily. Once back in the confines of the vehicle, Eckhard activated a concealed feature, unveiling a hidden screen embedded within the dashboard. Utilize this to establish contact with anyone you deem necessary, provided they possess the means to receive communication, he informed her. The advent of this concealed tool sparked a glimmer of anticipation within Sierra, accompanied by an undercurrent of unease, as the true gravity of their undertaking continued to permeate her thoughts. Sierra, a flush of recollection coloring her thoughts, swiftly input the frequencies she had utilized while facilitating the transport of supplies across the Mississippi River. Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. This is River Rat. Over. The crackling silence was abruptly pierced by a familiar voice, resonant with relief and concern. River Rat, this is Ivory. Where in God's name are you? You've had us fraught with worry. Over. Ivory's tone echoed relief with a trace of scolding. Ivory, thank the heavens. The airstrike. It must be aborted, Sierra implored with desperation. Ivory, enveloped seriousness, retorted, That's out of my hands. They're already airborne. Besides, recalling them now is likely impossible, even if desired. What warrants such a grave request? Sierra's eyes locked onto Eckhard, a silent query dancing within them, seeking counsel, or perhaps probing for any inkling of remorse or defiance from him. Instead, a subtle nod was her response, granting her the silent fortitude to proceed, and accompanying it, a fleeting smile crossed Sierra's face. Ivory, the attack. It will be seen coming, and he possesses command over nuclear arsenals, Sierra revealed, her voice a careful weave of revelation. The silence that followed was weighted with silent implication, as the world balanced on the precipice their actions and consequences. A soft voice came back over the speakers inside the limousine. Which ones? Ivory asked. All of them, Sierra responded succinctly, reveling the tension in her voice. Good God! A moment of silence prevailed as seconds ticked by until Colonel Freeman's authoritative voice broke the stillness. This is Colonel Freeman of the United States Air Force. Please repeat your last message. Hi, Colonel. Abort the mission or we'll be reduced to ashes, Sierra enunciated with unswerving clarity. A note of skepticism pervaded Colonel Freeman's response. How can we ascertain the veracity of this intelligence? It was at this juncture that Eckhard decided to intercede, his voice laced with gravity. Colonel Freeman, I presume my identity is not unfamiliar to you. Am I correct? Yes, over. Then you should heed my words when I assert that Stuxnet is the instrument through which this situation has been orchestrated. Considering it is a creation of your Department of Defense, you are undoubtedly cognizant of its formidable capabilities, Eckhard articulated, his tone harboring an underlying sinister resonance as he conveyed a clandestine wink to Sierra. A charged silence stretched between them, the air thick with unsaid words and unasked questions, the fate of many hanging by the thinnest of threads, woven with mistrust, uncertainty, and revelation. Radios submerged into a tense silence, the waves seemingly carrying the echoes of their words into the void. Abruptly, the voice of Ivory Hecker pierced the stillness. You've certainly garnered their attention. Let's cling to the hope that it prevails. We will attempt to correct the situation from our end, Sierra conveyed to Ivory, her words full of apprehension. What do you mean, this end? Ivory's query sliced through the brief static, allowing hardly a breath between Sierra's message and her immediate response. We're infiltrating Victor's stronghold as we speak. Pray for our success, Sierra asserted, promptly severing the radio connection before any reply could infiltrate the tense air surrounding them. Aware that every second was crucial, Eckhard and Sierra sprinted through the cavernous, castle-like subterranean structure until they reached elevators directed for the top floor. Sierra's fingers curled around her pistol, prepared to neutralize any opposition. Yet she was met with an unsettling emptiness. Where is everyone? She inquired, her confusion evident in her tone. Guards are superfluous here. Automation governs nearly everything, Eckhard elucidated, his eyes scanning the sterile environment. With haste, they boarded the elevator, and as they approached the top floor, the corridor was bathed in the urgent glow of flashing red lights. "Is that what I suspect it is? The attack planes have been spotted?" Sierra questioned, a ripple of concern traversing her voice. "Yes," Eckhard confirmed curtly. Just as the elevator came to a halt at the top floor, Sierra, driven by a cocktail of adrenaline and emotions, enveloped Eckhard in a tight embrace, her lips locking with his in a kiss charged with fervor and desperation. As the doors reluctantly slid open, a new breath of life animated Eckhard, and they strode down the hallway towards his father's sanctum, their steps syncopated with their unified mission. Pushing open the substantial, intricately carved wooden doors to his office, which resembled a repository of historical artifacts more than a workspace, Eckhard's eyes immediately found Victor. He stood by his desk, his features illuminated by the spectral glow of a computer monitor. Victor, recognizing the singular possibility of Eckhard being the one to enter, initiated a conversation without tearing his gaze from the screen. "Gut. Psi are here. I'm unsure how, but they have managed to operationalize their bombers. Soon V must transition to our contingency, initiate a lockdown on all." Victor's instructions hung in the air as he finally lifted his gaze from the screen, his eyes widening slightly at the sight of Sierra, an unexpected sentinel beside Eckhard. "It seems the lessons and warnings fell on deaf ears," Victor remarked calmly, a certain coldness pervading his voice. "She has entwined her essence around your very soul. Rid yourself of this treacherous frailty. End her existence now," he continued, distancing himself from his desk, moving towards another part of the room, where a keypad was stationed next to Oscar's uniform. Sierra, sensing a window of opportunity, subtly maneuvered her hand to her revolver, but Eckhard quickly overlaid his hand atop hers. "I told you this place operates on automation, security included. Make a move for your weapon and it will be your demise," he warned in a low tone. Frustrated, Sierra withdrew her hand, but not before allowing her thumb to graze gently over the top of Eckhard's, their gazes briefly locking before she stepped back. "My son speaks the truth. I have meticulously conceived every facet of security to ensure the safety of my lineage," Victor articulated, his gaze alternating between Eckhard and his other son, William, who remained seemingly oblivious to the unfolding drama, engrossed in his virtual world of video games. "And now, it seems I must act once more to uphold their sanctuary," he concluded, his eyes, cold and calculating, resting momentarily on Sierra before flitting back to his sons. The weight of his unspoken intentions settled heavily in the room, adding another layer to the already tense atmosphere. Eckhard, with measured steps, moved towards Victor's desk, his gaze fixed on the radar depicting 3 bombers aligning from the east. "Father, I urge you to witness this before initiating that sequence." "It seems they are retracting their course," Eckhard uttered, a fleeting sense of relief imbuing his tone. However, the solace gleaned from the retreating blips swiftly dissipated as 2 beeps resonated through the room from the keypad, signifying Victor's commencement of the sequence to activate the global nuclear arsenal. "It's futile. They will revert their course," Victor retorted calmly, his fingers diligently inputting another 2 numbers in the sequence of 8 digits, unswayed by his son's plea. "Father, cease!" Eckhard's voice burst out loudly with desperation and command. Unable to stand by amidst the unfolding crisis, Sierra, driven by a surge of adrenaline, reached for her revolver, only to be met with the piercing pain of a bullet embedding into her shoulder before her weapon could fully clear the holster. A gasp escaped her as her grip faltered, the revolver clattering to the ground, and she crumpled, writhing in excruciating agony. The volatile sense of agony and impending doom enveloped the room, the decisive ticks of the clock echoing louder with every passing second. With a slight turn to gauge the result of his automated defense, a contented smile surfaced on Victor's face. "You were forewarned," he said, a chilling calmness lining his voice as his fingers proceeded to input another set of digits. Then the air was ruptured by a resounding gunshot. Victor's hands instinctively clutched his chest, where a bullet had just pierced through, and as he spun around, he found himself facing Eckehard, who was wielding the Luger from his desk, the very one he had used to end his father's life as a child. A smile, tinged with both victory and sorrow, unfolded on his visage as he collapsed beside Oscar's uniform. In his mind, visions of Oscar surfaced, reminiscent of the moments before his demise, looming over him with a spectral gaze. "I have avenged you, mein Vater," he murmured, his voice laced with a blend of satisfaction and lingering sorrow, as his mind melded with the memories of the past. The profound silence that ensued was a somber culmination of a cycle of vengeance and redemption. With the Luger still aimed at Victor, Eckehard spoke with his voice full of sorrow. "You forgot, Father. I designed the system. I excluded myself from it. I never imagined it would be to prevent you from annihilating the world." As the last syllable left his lips, another deafening retort from the automated security system echoed through the room. He spun his attention back to Sierra, who, despite her wound, remained motionless, applying pressure to her injury. Slowly, Eckehard's gaze shifted to William, who, with a pistol in his hand and a trail of crimson descending from a hole in his forehead, met his eyes. "Oh, brother, you should have been paying attention." "Mein son," Victor gasped, his hand stretching towards William amidst the splattering of his own lifeblood. "Father, I couldn't let your vision manifest. That isn't a world I want to inhabit and—" "But it is, Eckehard. But it is," interjected Victor, a bloodied smile gracing his lips as his final cough heralded his demise. The bloodied semblance of a smile lingered on Victor's face, a testimony to his unwavering belief in his dystopian vision, even in the throes of death. Swiftly, Eckehard dashed to Sierra's side, scrutinizing her wound. "We did it," Sierra uttered, a smile lighting her face, washing away any vestige of regret that might have clung to Eckehard in the aftermath of the harrowing ordeal. They shared a passionate, fervent kiss, the kind filled with the intoxication of victory and relief. "What do you think he meant by—" "But it is?" Sierra inquired, a flicker of uncertainty dancing in her eyes. Looking deep into her eyes, Eckehard dismissed the worry. The ramblings of a dying old man. Nothing more. He went in for another kiss, holding each other close when Sierra's gaze was drawn to something outside the vast window Victor often contemplated the world through. The sight of trails of smoke ascending into the sky alarmed her. "Look!" she exclaimed, pointing. "Impossible, we prevented him from entering the last digits. He must have had a dead man's switch wired to his heart. That's what he meant by, but it is," Eckehard discerned, a chill of realization running down his spine. Just then, Ivory's voice pierced the heavy silence, her words a herald of doom. "If you are hearing this, take shelter immediately. Nuclear arsenals from around the globe have been launched. This is not a hoax. Seek shelter immediately. May God forgive us." Their eyes locked, a shared pain mingling with the unfolding chaos outside. The world around them shatter into shards of broken hopes and unrealized dreams as shadows of annihilation loomed, and all the fight, all the resistance seemed to converge into a silent scream.